Show with one of New England's leading natural health care specialists, Mark Mincola. Call Mark at 781-837-4900 on 95.9 WATD. He's waiting to hear from you.
Welcome home, Natural Health Nation. Great to be on board together this evening, and we have some pretty remarkable information for those folks who are experiencing a little more stress and tension and anxiety than perhaps they'd like, and an awful lot of people, of course, are. And it seems that now more than ever, stress and anxiety have reached epidemic proportions of late, and we're affected in so many ways. Our memory, our learning skills, our concentration, our mood, our basic day-to-day functions, all affected by the amazing stress that we're just sort of deluged with these days. And when you really think about the numbers, they're just incredible. And it's been estimated that 50 million Americans are affected by chronic day-to-day stress, the stuff that just doesn't seem to go away. It just affects their nervous system, it affects their immune system. And again, it's a telling number, 50 million, one out of every 7 Americans. Again, the numbers are just not very friendly. When you think about the 956 million doctor visits in America every year. Americans visit their physicians to the tune of 956 million doctor visits per year, of which it's been estimated that 85% of all doctor visits are stress-related. So do the math, like Tim helped me with tonight. And thanks to his mathematical skills, we figured out that 812 million doctor visits per year are therefore directly related to stress. 812 million doctor visits. So what we're talking about in many cases is so many different Americans nowadays suffering from what we might call GAD, or generalized anxiety disorder. The chronic worry, expectations of the worst to happen, can't seem to snap out of it. And there's definitely some brain chemistry and some body chemistry imbalances, some cortisol excesses and adrenaline excesses that so many folks are not really able to grab hold of and affect. And the amount of fight or flight that they produce, of course, is really what throws their chemistry into this tailspin that doesn't seem to be stoppable. It just seems to be unstoppable. And the symptoms, of course, are clammy hands, cold clammy hands, heart rate elevates, hypertension, in many cases jumpiness, jitters, muscle tension, nausea, fatigue, inability to sleep, insomnia. Even though you're tired, you can't seem to rest, irritability, memory problems, and again, a lot of association with ADD and ADHD crossover as well, because of the obvious concentration, memory, learning issues as well. So, we're dealing with really a pandemic, I would say, of stress and anxiety these days. Of course, there's an awful lot of folks that are aware of the American medical approach to such issues, things like benzodiazepines, SSRI, uptake inhibitors, tricyclic antidepressants. These are, in many cases, solutions for an awful lot of people that have an awful lot of side effects. And, not to mention things like benzodiazepines, in many cases, habit-forming or addictive. A lot of problems with many of the antidepressants that include weight gain, decreased libido, mental confusion, and on. So, we have a problem here with regard to the pace that we run at in America. We have a problem with the end product of that pace and those high expectations. And the end product is called stress. And there's an awful lot of anxiety that runs along with all of that. And as we said earlier, the numbers are just overwhelming at this point. So the $64,000 question, of course, is what are our solutions from the natural perspective? And there are many, of course, but we're going to talk about one this evening that I think is really very, very interesting. And it's interesting because there are very few pills that are not pharmaceutical, very few supplements that are non-pharmaceutical, that are drugless, if you will, that actually can change the human brainwave. And there's one this evening that we're going to talk about, a supplement that is readily available over the counter. side effect free, a symptom free supplement that many people are starting to learn about and use more and more for their stress and anxiety with great success. And there's good reason for that great success, because the supplement that we're going to talk about tonight has the ability, according to research, very current research over the past 4 or 5 years, that indeed indicates that it does alter brainwave states. Now, for those who are not familiar with brainwave states, we'll get into that in greater detail after the next break, but let's suffice it to say here that there are brainwave states that are stress-oriented, and then there are brainwave states that are relaxation-oriented. And this particular supplement that we're going to discuss this evening has the ability to change human brainwave signals from stress signals to relaxation signals, to alert but relaxed signals, aiding in things like relaxation response, memory, learning, concentration, alertness, yet relaxed and relaxational type concentration, learning, and alertness. So the best of both worlds, to have a mind that is focused but relaxed, and that's exactly what theanine is all about. So we're going to talk with you this evening about that particular supplement, a remarkable supplement called theanine, and to help you with your stress and anxiety. When we come back from these messages, stay tuned.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health. When it comes to lasting health and nutrition, the old adage, you are what you eat, really is true. At Good Health, we make it easy to eat healthy and save money. We carry only 100% certified organic, super clean produce and fresh garden herbs. Our groceries are natural, wheat-free, dairy-free, low-carb, and kosher. So rethink your lifestyle. Read product labels and look for actual ingredients on all your purchases. We're here to help you shop smart, find the best values, and enjoy our everyday shopping convenience. Select only the freshest fruits, veggies, and natural groceries for your family. Choose all natural health, beauty, and sun care products. Do all you can to stay well. Try our whole food and gluten-free vitamins and sports supplements. Come to Good Health in Quincy or Hanover today. Speak to someone who's informed. Learn more about our in-store events and monthly specials at goodhealthnaturalfood.com. Come see why our name says it all. And thanks for listening.
You know, when most people hear the word allergies, they think only of hay fever-like symptoms associated with airborne pollen, dust, and mold. But did you know that many experts estimate that between 60 and 80 million of us suffer from immune-related food allergies without even knowing it? Furthermore, food allergies often contribute to serious health problems such as autism, irritable bowel syndrome, ADD, headaches, and chronic ear infections. Now, there's an effective way to identify and eliminate both your food allergies and the troubling symptoms that they aggravate. Allotest Medical Labs at foodallergy.com offers a full complement of clinical, environmental, and food allergy testing to help you get to the root of your allergy problems. Allotest also provides you with a comprehensive rotation diet, lifestyle booklet, and a wallet card to help you live food allergy-free and stress-free. Do you wonder if you or your loved ones are among the 60 to 80 million food allergy sufferers in America? If so, log on to Allotest Medical Labs, foodallergy.com. Talk to your doctor about ordering a food allergy test from Allotest Medical Labs today. Foodallergy.com. Make sure the food you're eating isn't what's depleting you.
Now back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods, Jarrow Formulas, and Ultimate Healing Journey.
Hey, welcome back, and hopefully you are fit as a fiddle and happy as can be, and hopefully everybody's doing well out there, and everybody in your world is in good stead. And we're talking with you this evening in the event that anybody that you know, or perhaps yourself, is struggling with anxiety and stress. And we're talking about something that I think is real important for you, if indeed that is the case, because theanine, which is spelled T-H-E-A-N-I-N-E, theanine, is a remarkable supplement that promotes alertness and reduces your stress response. Imagine the combination, both reducing stress response, but promoting alertness. A rare commodity this is. So theanine, what is it? It's from the Camellia sinensis plant. To you, that's green tea. Basically, it's all about tea, folks, and it's extracted from tea. And it's basically a major amino acid component, a protein-type component of green tea. And many researchers and experts say it's what gives green tea its unusual taste. The other part of this issue as well is it's got something in it called gamma-glutamylethylamide, a big long term that basically means that it has the ability to relax you, and it's sort of like, nature. I always talk about how nature has a balancing act that it invokes. And nature, with regard to green tea, says, look, we've got these stimulants in there, like a little bit of caffeine, of course, that's naturally occurring. But it also has polyphenols, which are pretty activating as well. So these incredible energizers, the caffeine and the polyphenols that are in green tea, are sort of balanced out with this gamma-glutamylethylamide, which has the ability to relax us. So, nature says, look, we're not going to do one thing without doing the other. We got stuff in there that's going to sort of activate you and bring a great deal of alertness to you. We've also got some stuff we're going to balance that out with in this product called green tea, with balancing agents that will relax you and calm you. So it has these unique properties, and it has the ability, according to a lot of research, to block the binding of glutamic acid to glutamate receptors in the brain. What does that all mean to you? It basically means it increases alpha brainwave activity in the brain, which is exactly what the relaxation response is all about. When you think about alpha brainwaves they're more or less relaxation brainwaves. There are many different types of brainwave states that we produce, and some brainwave states are more active and some are more passive. I'll just go over those real quickly. This particular product, the theanine, which is, again, the protein or the amino acid that is within green tea, has the ability to induce alpha brainwaves. And those are, again, considered the brainwaves of wakeful relaxation. And they're approximately 8 to 12 hertz or cycles per second. When you measure brainwaves, you're measuring them in cycles per second, and that's what hertz are, Hz or hertz. So alpha is the most attractive of these brainwaves for a variety of reasons because, again, we're talking about wakeful relaxation, so it's promoting alertness and reducing sort of our stress levels at the same time. The second, or the opposite of alpha brainwaves, the thing we want to kind of move away from if we're stressed out, are beta brainwaves, and those are 13 to 40 cycles per second or hertz, especially what's called high beta stress. It's arousal, folks. It's a strong mental output. It can be worry, it can be anxiety, it could be stress, it could be alertness. So beta brainwaves are generally associated with high levels of stress. I always say if you want to think about beta brainwaves, you think about the Southeast Expressway about 3 o'clock on a Friday. So that gives you a perfect picture of beta brainwaves. Also, there are deeper relaxation responses, such as theta, T-H-E-T-A, which are 5 to 8 hertz cycles per second, which is more of a trance or a daydreaming state, such as like when you're sitting by a window and you just kind of space out looking out that window and just kind of drift off into Never Never Land for a moment or two, and that's actually trance-like, and that's called theta. That's a deep daydream state or relaxation state. You don't want to operate heavy machinery when you're in theta. Nor do you want to do that in the next brainwave state, which is the fourth and final, and it's called delta, D-E-L-T-A, which is 1.5 to about 4 hertz or cycles per second. And that is all about sleep. So you've got basically a wakeful relaxation response with alpha, and alpha is exactly what theanine produces, a wakeful relaxation state. So your concentration rates improve, your mental processes are actually sharper, yet your nervous system is considerably more efficient and more relaxed, and stress is less of an issue. So that's really what the beauty of theanine is, because, again, it blocks the binding of glutamic acid to glutamate receptors in the brain, increasing alpha brainwave activity. That's really what it's all about. Again, enhancing alertness while calming and reducing your stress and reducing your anxiety. Hey, let's take a call. Let's go to Roy from Rhode Island. Welcome to the Natural Health Show, Roy.
Hi, Mark. Good evening. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure's mine.
I'm interested in knowing if you could tell me, first of all, how are your hertz doing?
I like that. That's good stuff. That's great.
I love it. We're talking about people with dementia and Alzheimer's disease.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with their brain waves? What is out of balance? What do they have too much of? What do they have too little of?
Well, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up, because there have actually, when we talk about theanine as we are this evening, there actually have been some interesting studies. I believe one was at UCLA recently that actually found that they think, they're not completely certain yet, but they're starting to suspect from animal studies that theanine may actually produce an anti-plaquing effect. So we've talked about, in the past, we've talked about EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, big long term. EGCG is a byproduct of green tea as well. And the researchers at UCLA, going back as far as 2005, in conjunction with the Veterans Administration, did some research on green tea and found that, again, it has this affinity for lowering literally antagonizing the plaquing agents that are causal with regard to Alzheimer's. So, we're talking about a really interesting prospect here, that not only is it protecting the brain from various types of damage, again, and a lot of UCLA research on this. There's also Dr. what's her name? Lenora Arab, actually, is a researcher who's done a great deal of study on theanine. And again, it just keeps coming around and around and around. The green tea and the antioxidants and the properties of green tea seem to have the ability to correct a lot of the damage, a lot of the plaquing in the brain. And so I would say the answer to the question is there's more plaquing in the Alzheimer brain that blocks a lot of the nerve circuitry. And when you send a signal that says move your left hand, move your right hand, or move your left leg, that signal is really interrupted by plaque. So the Alzheimer brain doesn't have that access to clear nerve pathway activity that you or I might. But again, interesting stuff, because there has been a lot of green tea research that we spoke of that shows that the EGCG, the epigallocatechin gallate, has demonstrated the ability to antagonize the plaquing that causes Alzheimer's. Now, brand new studies are indicating that it may be true with the theanine as well. And again, I have to tell you that I think green tea is showing up as a shining star in all these issues.
Well, I will tell you, share two things with you. Number one, I'm taking EGCG. I have been taking it for the past 6 weeks.
Great. By
Jarrow Formulas. And I suffer from anxiety and depression. There is a big difference.
Wonderful.
Unfortunately, because of economics, I only take it every other day. I take 1,500 milligrams, and I have found a huge difference. Now, the only thing I'm having a problem with is when I drink green tea.
Yep.
It makes me too lethargic. Will I get over that in time? Because I enjoy drinking green tea, but if I have a regular mug, maybe I need to cut back a little bit. It makes me too lethargic. Is this normal, or what's going on with that?
Well, again, I think because of we talked about the various agents that are in the green tea that promote alertness and reduce stress, and every chemistry is going to be slightly different in terms of how your body translates these agents.
Right.
Perhaps you're over-absorbing the stress reduction component of the theanine, and perhaps you're not as efficiently making use of the components that promote alertness. But again, I always say that you get these two distinctly different sort of qualities that are promoted by the various agents that are in the green tea, which is, again, when you think about something that promotes alertness and kind of wakes you up, but at the same time reduces stress and kind of slows you down, it's got you going in both directions at the same time. But again, it's my sense that you're probably making better use of one and not so much the other.
What do you do in a situation like that? Do you cut back on the amount? What do you do?
Yeah, what I would do is I would do that very thing. I would cut down, and again, keep in mind you're using EGCG as well. So, I mean,
right.
Your concentration of that particular agent is considerably higher if you're both drinking the green tea and taking the EGCG. So what I'd say is just cut down on your green tea drinking.
Right, or could I one day have, when I'm not taking the EGCG, have just the green tea and then not have it the day that I'm taking
That's
the
precisely, that's exactly what I would do. But again, you got to keep this in mind that Dr. Lenora Arab from UCLA's Geffen School of Medicine, who's done a lot of the research on EGCG and theanine and green tea, is she makes it very clear in her work and in her interviews that that these products quickly cross the brain-blood barrier, and they're readily absorbed. So, you know, one of the most difficult things about, you know, I don't know if you've ever read anything about GABA, for example, but GABA is the ultimate anti-anxiety agent that's produced naturally in the brain. And a lot of people don't produce enough of it, so their anxiety levels rise. And the good news is you can purchase things like GABA over the counter and take them, but the difficult part of it is they don't know how to get it to cross the brain-blood barrier. It's hard to absorb. It's hard to translate. It's hard to get it in the brain. So not so with these products that are green tea products. These are readily absorbed. They quickly cross the brain-blood barrier. And these are really exceptions to just about every rule. So you're absorbing an awful lot of that good stuff.
Right. Well, I appreciate your call, Mark. It's always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you,
Take
Roy.
care.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great night. You as well. All right, so real important stuff here that we're talking about, but readily absorbed indeed it is. So we're talking about something from green tea called theanine, Theanine. It's available in supplement form, and Jarrow Formulas does make a 200 milligram theanine that I often recommend if somebody is experiencing high levels of stress, looking to promote alertness and reduce their stress levels, reduce their anxiety levels. It's exceptional. It's fast working. As we said earlier, it's it crosses that brain-blood barrier pretty fast, and it's readily absorbed. Unlike most of the, quote, anti-anxiety or anti-depression agents, the natural medicines are, on paper, terrific, but in terms of really where the rubber meets the road, how well absorbed are they at a brain level? Not great. It's hard to do that. Not so here. So one of the reasons why theanine is indeed one of my favorite recommendations for anxiety and for stress is indeed that it does have this ability to really absorb it quite easily. So that's the story there. All right, we also want to talk a little bit about some of this incredible research that has been done. In 2007, there was a study published in the journal Biological Psychology about how the theanine has the ability to regulate stress by regulating heart rate during stress. So think about this. When somebody's like under a lot of stress, the heart rate goes up. Everybody knows what that feels like. That's actually the sort of cornerstone of the defining cornerstone of what panic attacks and anxiety are all about. So once again, this 2007 study published in the journal Biological Psychology found that one of the impressive things that theanine seemed to be able to do in these studies repeatedly was to help the body to better regulate or downregulate the heart rate during periods of peak stress. So imagine that you're getting on a roller coaster with your children or your grandchildren or whatever, and you're a little nervous and a little anxious because you're thinking this isn't your cup of tea, no pun intended. But you actually take a couple hundred milligrams of theanine an hour before you go to the park, and you're, lo and behold, able to get on that roller coaster and have some fun with the kids. So that's kind of what we're talking about here, because, again, this 2007 study seems to suggest that the theanine has the ability to do that very thing. And, again, when you think about what panic attacks are all about, so many folks suffering from anxiety and panic attacks that really need that kind of support. And theanine, again, impressive to these particular researchers in this particular 2007 study that indeed went right to the cornerstone of that set of symptoms and did seem to find a way to support the heart at trying to reach an equilibrium in heart rate during periods of peak acute stress. 2011 study published in the BMC Complementary and Alternative Medicine. That was 2011. And it talked about the catechins, the EGCG, which we talk about all the time, and we just talked about with Roy a few minutes ago. The EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate in the green tea, is an antioxidant that's clearly demonstrated the ability to neutralize and to get rid of these Alzheimer's plaques that we keep talking about. But also, this particular 2011 study that was published found that it increased immunity and lowered flu rate. So we're talking about, again, another property. We talked a moment ago about regulating the heart rate during stress. Well, this is an immune issue that we're talking, an immune study that we're talking about. So again, what other properties does this green tea componentry have the ability to work? obviously immunity as well, increasing immunity and significantly lowering the rate of influenza, of all things. So again, it's quite a remarkable antioxidant. 2010 study published in the Nutritional Neuroscience showing that theanine dramatically increases cognitive performance. And there were a number of different cognitive performance skills, or tasks, I should say, that were tested, and skills were dramatically increased or improved with theanine supplementation, even 50 milligrams, which isn't even very much. So a mere 50 milligrams dramatically increased cognitive performance, memory. So again, we're talking about brain function, immune function, and heart function, right in a row here, 1, 2, 3. So again, the body seems to very readily absorb theanine, as it does most of these great green tea components. And EGCG working really closely with the theanine in improving and enhancing brain, heart, and immune function. Remarkable properties. And we've got several other interesting studies that I want to talk about, but this one here, again, speaks to what Roy and I just discussed a minute ago. The first studies that I saw from UCLA were 2005, again, Veterans Administration working with UCLA researchers in 2005, showing that indeed the Alzheimer plaques were neutralized by theanine in animal studies. Well, there's a 2009 study as well that is an animal study published in the Free Radical Biology and Medicine, showing that theanine may indeed inhibit the beta-amyloid brain plaquing. So theanine working with the EGCG at offsetting the plaquing of Alzheimer plaques, the beta-amyloid plaques. Hey, we're up against break time. We're going to talk with you again about theanine. You are listening to The Natural Health Show. My name is Mark Mincola, and we'll be right back with you right after these brief messages. Stay tuned. Hi, this is Mark Mincola. You know, over the past decade, The Natural Health Show has attracted many thousands of avid listeners. As the show approaches its 10th anniversary this coming June, I'd like to extend an open invitation to all potential new sponsors to join our Natural Health Show family. If you own a Heart Smart lighter fare or seafood restaurant, a fitness or day spa, or if you're an allied health professional or coach, the Natural Health Show is the perfect place for you to make the direct connection with your demographic target. If you really want to zero in and aim the message of your vision directly at those who want to most know about it, join the Natural Health Show family of sponsors. I promise you'll be glad you did. For information, call Candida at 781-834-2728. That's 781-834-2728. With the burgeoning growth of the Natural Health Show, now's the perfect time to share in that growth together.
With over 40 years of aesthetic experience and almost a full decade of laser expertise, Bell Aesthetics and Babyface Skin Spa in Norwell offer a full range of services including spa nail treatments and airbrush tanning.
Enjoy spa services from a luxury spa facial up to a medical-grade laser treatments, including the new dual Fraxel laser.
Brighten and tighten your skin with a wide range of medical-grade peels from Obagi and Skin Medica. Most treatments have no downtime and show immediate benefits.
Book now at Bella Aesthetics and Babyface Skin Spa and look your best all year round. We also offer medical-grade products for your home maintenance.
If you're looking for experience, expertise, and results, we're looking for you.
Call us today, 781-987-1365, and transform the skin you're in.
Bella Aesthetics and Babyface Skin Spa.
Find us online at babyfaceskinspa.net or visit us at 400 Washington Street, Route 53, Norwell.
Now, back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by Healthy Living Magazine and Alites Medical Laboratory.
All right, you're looking good out there tonight, and I hope you're taking a lot of notes. Hope you're ready to head out the door to the health food store in the morning. Good Health Natural Foods take good care of you down there. They'll make sure that you're off on the right foot. Hey, we're talking with you about theanine, Theanine, theanine. And to you, it's a green tea property that a major amino acid component. Many say it's what makes green tea taste good, but it's also what makes you feel good. And that's really one of the more important components to this conversation that you and I are having this evening. And one of the things I wanted to mention, too, I keep talking about the really fine research work of UCLA's Dr. Lenora Arab. She's done a lot of stuff here on theanine and green tea. She talks about 9 studies to date, 9 studies that suggest that green tea drinkers in these studies, the highest users of green tea, have the lowest stroke risks, the lowest risk of stroke associated in 9 different studies with the highest green tea drinkers. So you want to lower your risk for stroke? Drink lots of green tea. Simple way to do it. And she mentions that the study that she did regarding this lower stroke risk green tea connection was in February 2009, Journal of American Heart Association. So you can check that out if you like. It's February 2009, Journal of American Heart Association. And that's, again, Dr. Lenore Arab, A-R-A-B. And, I think one of the more impressive parts of this this green tea business, too, is, and this theanine. I mean, again, theanine to me is remarkable. There's one study that I actually stumbled upon that I could have never imagined that showed that the theanine in the green tea actually lowered elevations of high cholesterol. Imagine that. So we're talking about a multi-purpose health agent here. And again, you want to check out the theanine. Back on point here, I was going to mention the theanine animal study 2011 and the phytotherapy research that it produced antidepressant effects in these studies. So again, these studies were done in 2011, published in the Phytotherapy Research, in the Journal of Phytotherapy Research, 2011, regarding theanine as a product that actually had the ability to antidepress. So again, we've covered just about the gamut here. 2004 animal study published in the journal called In Vivo, that if you're ready for this one now, the theanine may help with weight loss via metabolism regulation, which is not hard to really envision. I'll tell you why. I always tell people, in fact, I just did a talk down in Whitman, at the Whitman Wellness Center on Friday night. In fact, hello to everybody out there in Whitman, because it was a great night, great turnout, great evening. But we mentioned that night, this past Friday, we were talking about metabolism, how to maximize your metabolism. One of the things we talked about is the 2 different nervous systems that we have. We have what's called the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. Well, I refer to them in simple terms as the emergency system and the efficiency system. Now, you can't be in both modes at the same time. It's either or. Your nervous system is either in the efficient mode, meaning you're relaxed and alert, or you're in the emergency mode, which means you're fight or flight in it and your heart's beating fast and you're just ready to bolt out the door. Now, that is not what we call an efficiency mode. That is just what I call it. It's an emergency mode. No efficiency there at all. So when you talk about the way you burn calories, you want to be efficient at burning calories. Well, you can't be efficient if you're in a fight or flight mode. So when you're stressed out, you're not going to burn calories efficiently, any more than you're going to do anything else efficiently when you're in fight or flight. Fight or flight is not meant to produce any level of efficiency except getting you out of the room or to fight for your life. God forbid you ever have to do that. So that's precisely how I can envision that this particular study worked out, that in 2004 these researchers found that the theanine actually helped to support metabolism regulation. Again, putting you in more of an efficient mode so that you can more efficiently operate your nervous system in a favorable manner to help you burn calories. You know, it's like saying this: the energy gets put into something. So where are we going to put the energy into? We'd like to put the calorie burning energy into the furnace, you know, the metabolism, to efficiently excite the body into burning fat. But, you know, you can only put that energy into one place at a time. So if your heart's beating fast because you're all nervous and worried and anxious, I hate to say it, but you're not going to put any energy into the till of burning fat. You're going to put it all into the mobilization of your heart and your nervous system. So, you know, again, you've only got so much energy to go around, and if you're living in the state of chronic stress, that's where all your energy is going to go. It's going to go to fueling your body through the stress process. and all the extra heartbeats, the extra deep breaths and sighs, all that nervousness that keeps you awake at night and that triggers anxiety and insomnia. There's a lot of energy goes into all that. So that's what you're fueling. You're fueling the what I would refer to as the forest fire, the running fire. So you're fueling that fire of incredible intensity neurologically, as opposed to fueling your calorie burning efficiency. All right? So I do understand how that study likely worked out and why it worked out the way it did. Incidentally, too, I should also mention that a number of years ago I looked at an interesting anthropological study that evaluated the stress response in terms of our chemistry, our biochemistry when we're in the state of stress. And again, the emergency chemistry that you and I produce when we're anxious or nervous, the chemistry that we produce, we were designed to our bodies were designed to live in that state of stress and to produce stress chemistry only 15% of our life. So only 15% of our lifetime are we geared toward producing this kind of stress chemistry, as opposed to the 85% that was designed to produce efficient chemistry. Good, efficient calorie-burning chemistry, good, efficient brainwave states that support immunity. An efficient nervous system that supports all of our different functions, pulmonary functions, respiratory functions, immune functions, cardiovascular functions, neurological functions, et cetera, et cetera. So we were designed to be efficient 85%, and we were designed to move into emergency 15%. Now, as I asked everybody on Friday night in Whitman, anybody know anybody's body that's only stressed out 15% of the time? I mean, not in the world we live in, which is why so many people are listening to programs like this, looking for tips to offset the ravages of stress. It's and trying to get a chemistry to function in a balanced state and try to get an immune system to peak, which is exactly, again, I've just listed 7 or 8 different properties here that theanine has in published studies demonstrated the ability to support. Again, just to review real quickly, to regulate stress via the heart rate during acute stress. That was the first one we talked about. And again, to lower the rate of flu by increasing immunity, and to improve cognitive function, and to offset the beta amyloid plaques in the brain that are largely responsible for Alzheimer's, and to have an antidepressant effect, and to increase metabolism, to burn cholesterol. I mean, it starts sounding, panaceic. But when you understand the properties, again, the bottom line, folks, is theanine helps you to regulate your nervous system. Like we keep saying, that's really the shining star of this whole story, is that it has the ability to move our brain waves into an alpha brainwave state. Now, if you can do that, your entire body and all your different systems are functioning more efficiently and less emergency-wise. So when you're operating at a more efficient level in all these various systems, then you shouldn't be so surprised when you see study after study saying, hey, look, it does this, it does that, it does this, it does that. And instead of looking at it in a very isolated fashion and kind of saying, hey, this is too good to be true, I think you need to understand that when you're operating, when the supplement is operating in a way that promotes alertness and reduces stress by putting the brainwave into an alpha brainwave state, that really makes the body and mind considerably more efficient, system by system by system. And do we ever need it? Again, as we said at the outset, if you missed the outset of the broadcast, stress is here for real. It's been estimated that 50 million Americans are affected by chronic daily stress that doesn't go away. 50 million. That's 1 of 7. 1 out of every 7. Now, the numbers are far more advanced than that when we talk about the chronic stress in general. You know, we're talking about 956 million doctor visits in America per year. 85% of all doctor visits stress-related. 85%. In some capacity, 85% of all doctor visits are stress-related. And if 956 million doctor visits are taking place in America every year, then 85% of that 956 million equals 812 million stress-related doctor visits. That's incredible. So the numbers are just overwhelming. They're pandemic, and they're affecting the way our efficiency is. So, you know, there's less memory, learning efficiency, concentration efficiency. You know, mood is, of course, not supportive of efficient memory, learning, or concentration in many cases. Again, you know, people talk about ADD and ADHD, for example, and I'm thinking to myself, look, stress produces a real change in the brain and in the body. Stress is a very real biochemical reality, and it alters the way your brain works and wants to work. As we said earlier, 15%, yeah, you can handle that, but that's not what's going on. It's unfortunate that most folks are living in that state of stress really pretty much permanently. And the imbalances, you know, here, my metaphor, this will stick with you. This will stick with you if nothing else. Imagine driving your car around all day long, constantly driving your car from place to place to place to place. The end of the day comes, you open the garage door, you bring your car in the garage, you put the car in park, and you put a brick in the accelerator. And you store your vehicle at night at a full rev. And you come down the next morning, you get in your car and you drive it around all day long again. You do the same thing. Most folks that suffer from acute and chronic stress are like that. They never recover. They never have time out. They're constantly at a high rev. And again, they're not in an efficiency mode. They're in an emergency mode 24/7. We've got to get to those folks, and we've got to support them. And again, one of the things that we want them to know is theanine has made a great difference in many of those brains and bodies. So very, very important to do a little bit of your homework, to check up on theanine, Theanine. Let's get to my recommendations about how to use it. I do like Jarrow formulas, not just because they've been our friends and sponsors and supporters for many years. As I always like to say, that the reason why they are our friends is because we like their products. It goes the other way around. They're the real deal. They do a great, great job at formulating, always have. Superior job. They make a terrific theanine, Theanine, 200 milligrams. I might have mentioned that earlier. Safe enough to take up to 3 of those a day. That's 600 milligrams. A lot of folks ask the question, should I use my theanine episodically as needed? In other words, I don't feel a lot of stress most of the time, but occasionally at work I have a presentation or I got to catch a plane and things get a little bit crazy. Can I use it under those circumstances? The answer is yes. Absolutely. You could use it episodically as needed by occasion, or you can continue to use it on an ongoing basis. We're not talking about anything that has any kind of habitual tendencies to it or any addictive properties. You're not talking about anything that is, counterproductive in that mode, anything that has any horrible side effects or in that business. So 200 milligrams, maximum dose, 3 times, morning, afternoon, evening. Better to utilize it on an empty stomach. Again, as we talked about earlier, it has the ability to be readily absorbed through the brain-blood barrier. So we're pretty fast acting. You can keep one in the car in case you can keep a capsule in the car or something like that in case you hit one of those really unusual, remarkable traffic jams in the greater Boston area. You're starting to get real tense behind the wheel. Theanine could make a big difference. Again, I think also in terms of folks who make presentations, doing graduate school work or college work, during the school year, you might find that theanine helps you as well, as far as the concentration, memory, and learning, because, again, it will do that. Alpha brainwaves, people often mistake them as being the kind of meditative brainwaves that put you half to sleep. Not really. They put your nervous system at ease, but they still allow for your brain to function at a very, very, very high level. That's the best of both worlds. So I'd recommend 200 milligrams as needed for stress, for anxiety, and for focus. And I've used a number of different properties for folks with ADD and ADHD over the years, but theanine is actually one of those things that I would highly recommend for folks contending with ADD and ADHD as well, for its ability to help us focus. And again, I think better tolerated on better absorbed, I should say, on an empty stomach. And you might start off with 1 a day. Many companies make 100 milligram theanines. That's kind of the starter dose. So if you really want to start super low, the entry level dose would be 100 milligrams, just 1 a day. And you might work with it, observe it, see how you feel. But if the anxiety is really intense, if the demands on your life are way up there, which seems like so many people that I meet with every day in my work are just absolutely full bore. They're going all 6 cylinders right now. So for those folks, you might not feel much with 100 milligrams of theanine, but I could tell you that I've used 200 milligrams on stressful periods before, and I had a great effect with it. And I know a lot of patients do very, very well with 200 times 3. So those are your parameters. And no contraindications per se, so you can do some research on it yourself, but I think it's a terrific, terrific supplement. That's pretty much how I'd recommend it. So, hey, we're up against a break time again. We're going to take a short little breather. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Are you one of the 20 million Americans suffering from neuropathy, shingles, or chronic nerve pain? In the last 3 years, many people have discovered excellent and affordable treatment for diabetic, post-chemotherapy, and other types of neuropathy and chronic pain. Dr. John Hayes, chiropractic physician since 1981 on Route 53 in Norwell, has had such astounding results with his unique neuropathy program that he's now teaching his remarkable system to doctors around the country. His most recent book, entitled Beating Neuropathy, remains a bestseller. In fact, Dr. John Hayes is the world's exclusive educator and trainer for Rebuilder Medical Technologies. Call Dr. Hayes' office 24/7 to schedule a free neuropathy analysis. Call 781-659-7989. That's 781-659-7989. Call now while free neuropathy analysis slots are open.
Now, back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by iFree2B and Dr. Mustando of Marshfield Chiropractic.
Alrighty, welcome back. And Dr. John Hayes, he's done a terrific, terrific job with his program. The program is on just prior to this show. The neuropathy program that he does is extremely well designed and well performed. He does such an exceptional job with it, and my hat's off to him. I salute his great, great work. And he mentioned maybe we'll do a show together one of these nights. That'd be a lot of fun. But he's terrific. If you've not heard him, make sure you listen to the show just before our show comes on. It's a great, great job, and amazing how much wonderful expertise he has, and we're lucky to have him. So hats off to John Hayes. And also I should mention, too, that folks interested in any of the information that we share and interested in nutrition and natural medicine and drugless medicine, etc., we can actually offer a website. Our website is Max Healing. That's one word, M-A-X, maxhealing.com. Check it out. A lot of info on there, a lot of video, a lot of stuff I've done over the years at New England Cable News when I had the You Are What You Eat segment. I almost forgot the name of the segment. You Are What You Eat in my Fox 25 segments, the Living Well segments. I'm still doing special features for them. But you can check that out, and a lot of good information on there as well. And it also keeps folks abreast of any presentations. People are always calling our office asking what we're doing, and we can usually refer them to the website. You can find out most of what we're up to, so you can check that out at maxhealing.com. brainwave.com. And we've been talking with you tonight about, I think, a real important supplement, one that's just amazing in that it has the ability to literally change brainwave frequencies, which, when you think about that, it's pretty astounding. There's a drawstring effect in the brain that when we talk about brainwaves, the greatest amplitude brings about the slowest frequency, and vice versa. The slowest frequency brings about the greatest amplitude. So it's a drawstring effect. When you slow down the frequency of the brain, you relax, like when you meditate. You get so relaxed. Again, you get efficient, as I like to say. The amplitude goes up. So your brain's function and your mind's function, it dramatically increases its capability. You can perform so much more efficiently. And there's that word efficiency again. But you can perform so much more efficiently when you slow the frequency down. So when you're in the beta brainwave state of 13 to 40 hertz, especially if you're in the high beta brainwave state of maybe 35 to 40, all I can tell you is Southeast Expressway, folks. That's not an efficient mode. And that's what you call a faster frequency and a lesser amplitude. So again, the drawstring effect goes in the other direction. And most folks are not even aware of the fact that we and our brains are both electrochemical. Your brain produces about 10 watts of electricity. You got about 10 billion interconnected nerve cells. So we produce electrochemistry. We are electrical beings. But when you think about the fact that you produce a 10-watt system that's extremely, extremely efficient, your brain gets more out of 10 watts than unnatural electricity gets out of 10,000 watts. So we produce real efficient electricity in our brains, in our hearts as well. But the key here is to keep it efficient, and our brains and our hearts are at their most efficient when their frequency is the slowest. And again, that's when the amplitude goes way up. So one of the truly remarkable things that I would like to celebrate, I guess I'd say, about theanine as a supplement is it's the only supplement, and very few, if any, pills at all have ever been discovered as having the ability to slow the frequency of brainwave states, to move your brain from beta, from that Southeast Expressway, into alpha, which is more wakeful relaxation, more alert with less stress. And again, it's one of the very few supplements or very few pills on the planet that has the ability to slow the frequency of our brain waves and increase the amplitude and efficiency of our brain state. So again, I think that it's really well worth and very deserving of a real good look. So do your research on it. And that research begins by studying the issue. And of course, I always encourage our listeners to do that very thing. And I know we've got a lot of learned listeners out there that do that. But it also includes you taking the time to take a supplement or two from time to time and see how you feel and catalog that. So I would recommend the 200 milligrams of Jarrow formulas, theanine, Theanine. And I certainly, as we talked about with Roy earlier, wouldn't discourage you from drinking green tea, but as he pointed out, he gets kind of logy from too much of a good thing. That's not beyond the realm of possibility either. So, again, you want to keep your mind open about how things affect you. Everybody's different. With me, if I take green tea, I get really active. I get more of the alertness. I get a lot more of the alertness. But theanine is a remarkable aid to me if I have a lot of TV to do, a lot of presentation work to do, if I have to go to New York and deal with my publisher, any of that kind of stuff, get a little juiced up being in New York City. New York City will do that to you, Tim. So theanine has helped me on a number of occasions in that very way. So give it a shot, give it a try, and I think you'll really like it. So I also want to take a minute here to thank everybody down at the Whitman Wellness Center. They put on a great program. Leanne did a great job. And, of course, as always, we thank everybody at the Red Lion, too, for putting together some, Amy Terrio, of course, from Santi Holistic Healing, put together a great program. That was a week ago last Thursday. And that was a great event, packed house there as well. I'd like to thank all the folks who turned out to those events and who show up at these presentations that I do, because you're the ones that make it worthwhile. So we thank you all for that. And we have many coming more in the future. Summertime, we sort of slow it down a little bit, but in the fall, we'll be doing a lot more presentations. And I know folks were asking that question as well the other day. So keep an eye out for the fall. And again, the website, maxhealing.com, will keep you abreast of all those changes and events, et cetera, et cetera. And we also want to thank Tim for doing a great job, as usual. And we want to thank Ed Perry, of course, for ever the stalwart that he is, keeping things running smoothly here at WATD. And he does a great job. And thanks to Candida, who has been working very hard at trying to keep things on the go here in the South Shore, keep everybody informed with wellness and natural healing. And she is the glue that binds the South Shore together in terms of keeping everybody aware of what's happening. So we salute her as well. And remember, if you want to pick up your theanine, get on down to Good Health Natural Foods, because theanine is available anywhere, but the only place you're going to be buying it is Good Health Natural Foods. Why is that? Because Good Health Natural Foods has been a friend and a sponsor to the Natural Health Show since day one. Without them, this format would not be possible. So support Good Health Natural Foods, because they are the community health food store that supports you. And for folks who are listening from faraway places, they ship things. So check out Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover, because they'll take care of you no matter where you are. And I mean, they do take good care of everybody that works with them. So we're right up about that time here. And once again, the Natural Health Show, of course, looks out to thank everybody who listens each and every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Until next Sunday night at 8 o'clock, this is Mark Mincola reminding you all, please be wise, be aware, be well, make it a healthy week. Good night.